July the 1st, 2019. Guys, hope everyone's going to have a safe 4th we've got coming up here in a few days. So be careful driving. Traffic's going to be a nightmare just about everywhere. The weather's going to be hot, but that doesn't stop people. But this is going to be our weather system, guys. And I mentioned this a few videos ago, and we were talking about the National Hurricane Center was watching 3 waves over the Atlantic. This was forming in the Caribbean, and yesterday I watched it, and I was watching the wind shear that you're seeing here coming out across the peninsula, the Mexico Peninsula here. So you got this wind shear coming in, and this system had formed and was much better organized all throughout the day. As it gets into this wind shear, you can see the tops getting pulled off. Here is the reason I'm doing the video. Because it's going to be the 4th weekend, this will be the weather maker in a couple of different ways. You've got a cool front coming down from the north. Notice coming through Mississippi and Louisiana, Arkansas, in that area, down through Alabama, Georgia. You've got a dip in the jet stream here. So that's going to keep a lot of this moisture along the coast. That means you're going to have showers. You're going to have probably some rip currents. Think about it, guys. People drowned in the last 2 weeks down in the, I think they were in near Panama City or Destin, if I'm not mistaken. Remember, I also said something about this algae that's in this area. So a couple people have gotten it, and they were just waiting on the beach. They had a cut on their foot, or something like that. One lady fell, skinned her knee. She didn't make it, guys. Got a little scrape on her knee. They tried to save her life. It couldn't. It's a bacteria that's called a flesh-eating bacteria. It has a technical name also, but the waters have been still. There's been no cyclone activity to speak of that keeps the ocean stirred up. It's like an aerator inside an aquarium, guys, with the wind, the wave motion and all. And remember the video I showed you a few days ago where the jet stream is not looping through the entire Gulf of Mexico? And the models are indicating by July the 4th that that stream may cut off from that interior cycle that it's in and move basically up between the Yucatan and Cuba and then out around Miami up into the Atlantic. But again, this system would have been, in my opinion, the time of the season that we're in, probably in a tropical depression, tropical storm size, if it was not for this wind shear. Now, that's going to change, but I want to show you a close-up of this. And what you're looking at, guys, even with the upper level wind shear that you see moving across from left to right, you can see surface level rotation right there. So that's going to keep things stirred up. And again, if it hadn't been for this shear, you would be seeing some type of tropical depression or tropical storm watches or warnings by now. The ocean is extremely warm here. It has not been cooled off. Another thing that a tropical storm does is pull some of that heat out of the ocean. You guys in Florida and along the coast, you know exactly what I'm talking about because it's hot down here. Now, guys, same satellite, different sensor. This is water vapor, and you can see as the sun was rising in the other image how the tops of the clouds are starting to explode at the top. Same thing happens every day in the Gulf of Mexico when you have some type of low pressure system. But you can see that also down in the Bay of Campeche, there's a system trying to form. So you're just going to have kind of moisture, a trail of moisture throughout the next few days. I'm not saying there'd be any tropical development, but there is a plus side to this, and that is it's the 4th of July, guys, and it's going to be a hot weekend. And all my friends down in Perdido, I'm looking forward to seeing you down there for a couple of days. But these clouds and these rain showers can be a blessing on those days, guys. If you don't want to get hit by lightning or anything like that, but these off and on showers and coming in a good breeze can be a lifesaver. Remember to stay hydrated. And guys, it amazes me that all of you know about the increase in gamma radiation and increase in the sunburn and the crop damage and all, but the majority of the nation is never really exposed to that. They're just, they understand what a sunburn is and that it's happening, but without the knowledge and knowing why our shields are weak, things like that, you tend to forget, you go right back into that situation. So you make sure you got plenty of shade and sunscreen, water, a lot of water, and stay on the boat. I know it's tempting, but if you're in one of the areas that they're watching, and I know on some of the beaches in Mississippi and possibly in the Panhandle, I'm not sure that those still remain in place there, but there are some closed beaches. And just stay on your boat and enjoy that, guys. Now, quick look at the infrared images, same area. And you can see that central section of rotation here very easily. You can also watch about the exact time that the sun hits the top of these clouds as it comes across this area earlier today. But guys, again, keep an eye on it. Have your umbrellas ready. And watch all the warnings and watches along the beaches, because I know where majority of folks are going to head, whether you're in the Carolinas or the East Coast or the West Coast, Texas, wherever you're at. The beaches up in the Great Lakes, guys, just be careful this weekend. We don't want to read about anybody getting hurt or drowned or anything else like that. And like I said, just one more reminder about this bacteria in the water. It hasn't been stirred up. We had a lot of outflow from the flooded Mississippi River and all the other rivers in that area because of the constant rain. So, and a lot of that goes over agricultural lands. You have pesticides, insecticides, things like that get in there. And without the circulation that we're getting a little bit of this weekend, this week, is going to be nice for that. It could help. But without that, it just becomes kind of stagnant. And I mentioned in the earlier video, since the BP oil spill, seen a change in the Gulf Stream itself. We looked at that in the last model. But guys, just keep your eyes open. Have a safe, great weekend. Folks down in the Pensacola, Mobile, Gulf Shores area, the Blue Angels fly on Wednesday. Going to be a great time to boat. You can get there, get out on the island. But I don't think there's any warning or watches in that area as far as the any kind of bacteria. But just check all of your local flags on the beach for high winds or rip current warnings, and keep an eye on your kids, because, guys, you can turn your back with the rip current and the kid will be on the float or something, and you're going to be swimming for a minute. But anyway, have a great 4th. It's a great holiday for this nation. Be safe.